Hello, hello, what's going on? We are back. How's everybody feeling? Uh, Last time we played, we got a lot done, and I feel like we had a pretty good time. Um, Let me make sure everything is up and I got the pop-up chats. Let's see. We are doing alright. Alright. It's Sunday. I'm available. I'm here. What's going on? TiCup. We've been playing a little game called The Roottrees Are Dead. And I've been having a really good time with this game. We've been, I guess, having sometimes small brain and sometimes the biggest brain of all. And this time we're gonna try to have the biggest brain of all and hopefully finish the game. I don't really know, but it's looking very promising. We have 8 names left. Let me show you a little bit about this game. I guess I feel like I do that a little bit every time, but essentially, what my goal is to complete this family root tree of this company called the Roottrees Candy Company. And so far, I feel like I have a lot of good names. I have a lot of people named, but I'm missing about eight people on this family chart. So that's who we're going to be investigating today. We do have some people who we have their pictures, we have their names, but we don't have occupations. We have people who we, clearly don't have a picture of still, and we have a picture of everybody else. Weird. So we probably have to get one more piece of evidence, if I had to guess, or 2, 3, I don't know. So that's pretty much where we are. For the most part, we don't know who Guy's spouse is. We don't know what Wilson, we don't know what Jim's occupation is. We don't know. We know these two are the right pictures for Ernest and Gwyneth. We don't know their occupations. I was kind of messing with this one being the president 3 and this one being president 4, or this one just being president 4 and then Carl being president 5. I don't really know, but I know one of these Ernests or Ernies was the president. And if I had to guess, it probably was this guy. That's what I would think. But if it is him, and he just so happens to be let's say Carl was 5th, so let's say he's the 4th. Yep, Carl's 5th, he's the 4th. It also would maybe sort of make imaginary sense. If this is actual right, then it probably sounds really good to you guys who may have finished the game. But if this is wrong, then this is good logic regardless. In this picture, Ernest Jr. is a little older than Carl. Carl's a teenager. This guy's clearly probably, he's an older guy, right? Yeah, he's one of the older guys in this photo. I would say it's a couple of older people and mostly a whole bunch of teenagers or younger looking folk. But I would say that Ernest Jr. looks quite older, I would say, than Carl in this photo. Could be the height, could be the mustache, it could be, the fit, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. But we don't have a picture of his dad, which is the biggest thing that I'm like, I don't understand. And then who else do we not have? We don't have the spouses of Edward and Elias. We don't have November locked in, for example. We don't know exactly what November's occupation ended up being. And we do not know Miracle Jr.'s spouse or Miracle's spouse. Okay, then. Let's get into it, I guess. I feel like that we talked about a little bit everything we get into. What's up, Teacup's Tea? How's it going? Let me get the YouTube chat popped out. I feel like I always click something and it goes to the back. I need to figure out how to lock that on OBS for whatever reason. It's tripping, but, it's okay. So, what I want to do is, I don't know, honestly. I have 8 names. I am basically going to have to get 4 of these right at a time. I don't know how we would get access to November's like occupation right off the bat. I feel like all of this is really giving that I need a few more pieces of evidence. I am thinking like, okay, we're missing one picture in total. I can't go to the evidence to see, like, do we have everybody in this picture? Yes, we do. And then where's the next gens? Is it this one? We have everybody in this photo but Samantha. So, that being said, we still don't have Ernest Jr. in this photo. So weird. And we got this one where we do have Ernest Jr., but we don't have Ernie. Wait, was Ernie? Ernie's not in here either. So yeah, I don't know where we're gonna find a picture of Ernie. I don't know where that's gonna come. That's gonna have to come from some evidence or whatnot. But we clearly have like a little bit of evidence within the evidence. Like, look at this. And I know a lot of this is kind of towards trying to figure out who Sam is. And that's kind of like the goal in figuring all this out. I think perhaps the fact that we can't find anything on anybody else might be that we might need to do a little bit of research onto Sam. And talking about Sam, we do know something fishy is going on here. We know that Elias Jr., this guy, he had a secret child. They kept away from the house. I mean, not from the house, from the family. Sent her away. She was worked for the farm hands, or as a farm hand. And I guess they found out later, and whatnot. And then, yeah. So, another part that is interesting to have to do with this that doesn't add up is because we know that Elias Jr. had a child he hid, and on here is a 5 pieces ad. And I thought this was interesting because last time, or not last time, it might be the time before that, but this is interesting, right? Because they said that all the 5 pieces were based on the initials of the 5 children, right? So EC, I would say this one is literally the one that we were questioning, who could this be? Because we also have another ad. Where's the other ad? There it is. We have another ad right here where they changed it from basically G. Can we copy the whole thing? We could literally highlight it and put it next to each other and then look at them together. Amazing. Okay. So, obviously, EC or egg cream is the one that is not in this photo. And I feel like that is interesting because I don't exactly know who EC would stand for. EC is something that they referred to before. So essentially, it was something of the sort, and I'm sure we'll find it here. Sam was affiliated with a farmhand who was also named EC. Pop warned us away from that farm for years. I never met EC in person, but Pop once referred to him as a confirmed bachelor, and I suspect that's why he kept us from there. Sam had to grow up in the house with him and his roommate, Mr. Miller. Do we have anybody named Miller? Huh. Maybe this is something I went past, you know what I mean? Okay, let's highlight that and actually search that up, because this has 3 hints I need to grab from it. So maybe we don't know who EC is, but maybe through finding whoever Mr. Miller is, we can find EC. Mr. Miller also could be a spouse, but also being that I didn't really see anything when I searched Miller. We'll try one more. No, nothing at all. So I'm gonna search this because this is sus. So another thing that will be interesting is that would mean that the original Elias, old man Elias, the founder, that would mean that he had a secret child, perhaps, unless it was literally. But they say, what is interesting about it is because they say it's a misprint, but they say the misprint is what, the year or a word or something else. That the misprint is not in what the flavors are, and obviously egg cream. Who eats that? What is that? Right? But yes, let's look into Mr. Miller, please. Yes. We will go deep and search into Butler County Times. Let me read that over again, because I might get better. Honestly, we might get a little bit better context if we read it. Okay, let's go. Clearly I did not know our truly family history when I wrote this. So maybe I need to go back to the original piece that this is about, perhaps, but I'm not sure. We'll see. All of my doubts were ill-founded. She's a fine woman. Had she had the chance to grow up with us, Sam might have been a sister Gwen never was. Ernie and the kids are lucky to have her, and her children seem eager to help the family in their own ways. Ernie Jr. has been learning day to day from Zach. It has been a long, long time since any Rootree was excited and interested in the actual candy as Ernie. So we know Ernie Jr. is the fourth president. No, third president. Who? I think that's what tripped us up, because if he's either the third or the fourth president. And then there's only 5 presidents. So maybe he was going before Carl. I don't know. This is literally what I changed like literally 20 times last time. As a bonus, Gwyneth has the green thumb of her mother and her adopted grandfather. What I'm most ashamed about is not figuring all out by myself. Sam's a spitting image of Patsy with her jet black hair and green eyes. She doesn't have the thick glasses Patsy did, of course, but I guess that skips the generation. Her children have that covered. It's hard to explain the look on Pop's face when they read that the farm's operation will pass to Samantha Rootree, as long as she was willing. I got flashbacks to when Zach was made president. Mother reframed it a bit to calm him down. Sam couldn't receive any candy money after all, and was essentially inheriting the right to rule over the peasants for eternity. Yes, we found that out about I think we found that out, we read a little bit more about it last time we streamed. Let's see. Yep, I never met EC in person, but Pop once referred to him as a confirmed black bachelor, and that's why he kept us from there. Confirmed bachelor, I wonder what that means. There also could be something like, it could just be like literally something that we are just looking for. In the past, a confirmed bachelor is a man who never intended to marry a woman. Quite often, it was used as a derogatory term to imply that a man was gay. EC is gay. So, would that mean... The funny part is, like, I guess the misprint would be 6 kids. Like, what if he had, like, a child that he didn't claim, and he was... In the early 1900s, there was a good chance if someone was discovered to be gay, they must be ousted or shunned by their family. That's hilarious, honestly. But, yeah, I guess that totally makes sense. So EC is essentially a son that got unclaimed by the family, basically. So we gotta figure out who EC is, and because of the other names, I am also interested to see if EC had anything to do with anybody else's name. me see real quick. G is Gwendolyn. E is Elias. Then the C-E would be Clancy Edward. So so basically I'm assuming in between 1924 and 1928 Miracle was born and EC was discovered to be gay, and so therefore was shunned by the family. So therefore that makes sense regardless of it, because regardless of the misprint, because it wouldn't have been 6 if he unclaimed that child. I mean, obviously he has 6 children, but we don't know where they belong. And then where will we even put that information up? Maybe it's a little bit more to read. I'm not sure if Sam will ever forgive Uncle Junior or Patsy for abandoning her to that life. If I was her, I would never forgive them either. But even so, she seems to blame more than the 2 of them. She has no problems with us next gens, but she has a palpable hatred for the 5 pieces, Elias and Gwyneth. Huh. Okay. Him and his roommate, Mr. Miller. Let's go back to the Sam entry and read a little bit more about here too. We might get slight more context to this as well. An entry titled Sam from Warren Roottrees' diary. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, why Sam? I met so many distant relatives I never met. After all, Granny had sisters and Granddad's had a brother or 2. But I was told trim the branches from the family tree, so why is Sam so special? Nothing adds up, and I'm not the only one to realize. The funniest part is how do you... It's crazy almost to an extent, because we don't necessarily know or think that the EC was hidden from his generation, but like this Elias, essentially Elias, the main Elias, the OG, he kind of tricked most of his family to believe that he only had 5 kids. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess she was a kid at this point and she didn't know, right? But it's kind of crazy of a thing to pull off. Almost like not a white lie, okay, at all, for real. Let's see. Angie summoned us all next gens to a secret meeting. Gwen's in Paris with the rest of us, including Miracle's boys, spent ages trying to unravel the mystery. I didn't recognize Sam at Uncle Junior's wedding to Patsy last year. At the reception, when I asked who Sam was, Pop shushed me and said it was complicated. So, Sam Roottree is EC's, what's up, Ship, daughter. And I don't know if something happened to EC to where Sam Roottree was somehow absorbed by Ernest Jr. Not like that. That sounds crazy. But basically, like, what I'm assuming is either Sam belongs here, right? And she is Elias's child. But where would EC come in? EC... Another theory that I have will be that Sam will be EC's daughter. And, yeah. I think we got a little bit more reading to do, perhaps. But this is like the biggest family scandal I've ever seen, if we've seen one, right? Clancy swore he saw Sam working alongside the farmhands, EC and John. The old Anderson farm. Okay. We need this. Highlight that. And then let's look up this Anderson farm. This is something that's probably important. You find some information on a website for the first Anderson maple farm. There are a few pictures, including a famous picture of Elias and Gwyneth. That photo was added to your evidence. Huh. Oh, we might have seen this before. This is probably just the original, right? The original farm. Before marrying Elias, Gwyneth Roottrees was Gwyneth Anderson. She had no brothers, so as the oldest sister, she was to inherit the Anderson maple farm so long as she's married. Before Elias took over, the farm only produced syrup. Yep, so we have read this one. Their success was not immediate until they decided to combine the maple and other flavors. This led to 5 pieces. This water bottle away from this candle. Which are still found in stores in this day. Though the Roottrees Candy Company expanded well beyond their original farm, it's been preserved as a tourist attraction. Maybe we can also potentially like look Anderson Farm up in here. Now that we have the periodicals available, the Boulder County Times has consistent ads for tours and demonstrations at the first Anderson Maple Farm for a long time. The farm also appears every so often in a section about things to do in Butler County. It seems twice each summer, the Roottrees Candy Company current head of farming, Miss Cottrell. Whose spouse is that? Miss Cottrell, head of farming. So she's a farmer. Okay. Nice. I'm not gonna change up too much. I feel like putting one thing in there that I know for a fact makes me want to change a whole bunch of stuff, but I'm gonna ride this through and read it and maybe change some stuff at the end if something else doesn't make any sense. Okay. Returns to Butler County to demonstrate how the 5 pieces were made at the beginning of the century. The demonstration provides free samples of the original 5 flavors. They cost quite a lot to attend and sell out every time. So the Butler County Times recommends getting tickets the moment before they go on sale. The ad blurbs do not have any other relevant information to help with your search. However, you do learn that the farm also offers discounts on Tuesdays. I absolutely needed to know that. 10 out of 10. Maybe we could search Miss Control. If anything, it was gonna be here. All right, let's go back. I feel like although we that was the first time we read that, I feel like we did get a little bit from it, I believe. I was assuming when I first saw Anderson, I had totally forgot about, that was the surname of the Lauren's grandmother. I was thinking like that could have been a last name for whoever John was. The farmhands, E.C. and John. Could John's last name be Miller, perhaps? That's kind of wild. That basically Elias's secret son ended up being a farmhand at the farm. Weird behavior. Okay. Sam working alongside farmhands. Maybe we could search who EC. Search EC? I don't know, man. What would the C be for if EC? That doesn't help me figure out the name, and the acronym doesn't seem to help me figure out much of anything. Let's see. Sam gave him some old tools and taught him how to make the bike's engine faster. And then as far as last names, we don't have any C last names either. Is there anything else that we didn't read perhaps? I guess the scandal thing, right? Did we read this? The new diaries opened up with the explosive incident that happened in the decade between the release and re-release of Lauren's diary. Elias Roottrees died, and during the reading of his will, there was an audible gasp when Samantha Roottrees' name was read aloud. And she was not, her and her children could not receive money inheritance, but she can retain the rights to run the farm and all decisions related to it. So, essentially, she was told her parents died. So, EC died? Somehow, maybe EC died, right? And if EC was a farmhand or somebody who had some, I don't know, maybe that could have inspired Elias, or that could inspire anybody to, maybe give the daughter, or I don't know. Interesting though. It was then that the scandalous secrets came out. None of the 5 pieces were surprised, but it was quite a shock to everyone else, including Sam. She had been told her parents died. Okay. So I guess this might be true for a fact. I'm assuming this is when Lauren was, taking the perspective of her, a little bit more grown, a little bit more aware of the situation. And he's the daughter of Elias and Patricia Christensen. But who is EC though? And then why would EC somehow, some way, have its initials in the 5, flavors, if it was not an illegal, or not legal, a shunned child of Elias himself? Patricia, the daughter of a local steel mogul, and Eli Jr. harbored a secret romance at 16. She got pregnant after birth. Her father refused to let her see Eli Jr. ever again. Her baby Samantha was sent to the Roottrees. Elias hid her away with a local farmhand known as EC. Patricia was married off to a much older man, and that was the end of that almost. So EC is recognized in here as well. The funny part is I feel like we keep searching up or trying to figure out Sam, but maybe we need to find who EC is in general. Did we search EC everywhere? That's what I kind of want to do. I don't know what EC would stand for realistically, but maybe something? We get Farmer County Times or something in this piece? Can we find something else to help us look up who EC is? If EC is a farmer, what could EC stand for? They said very, very sus. Very, very sus. When Patsy and Eli Jr. finally remarried, Elias decided that Sam should have been a Rootree in the first place. Even though she was not part of the clan's trust, he wanted to include her in family affairs. The funniest part is they told us exactly who Samantha is too. We're talking about her jet black hair and green eyes. Like I feel like we could have figured that, that was her, but whatever. So why are you worried about EC right now? You said not saying I should be, but trying not to get caught up. I feel like EC could also unlock some things, perhaps. Like maybe EC could unlock some evidence or something, some imaginary evidence, something to search, whether it's guessing the name or guessing whose child that is. Finding him might help a lot, though. We need a picture of Ernest in general. We don't have enough evidence. And I don't really know who else besides Samantha that we even have evidence on. It's like we have these 3 dots evidence on 3. We have these 3 evident clues on Sam, right? And although we know we need to find Sam, we don't think that Sam is on this photo. The only other person they mentioned Sam growing up with was EC. This is also something too that we have, but I don't know what we need to grab from this. This is something else I didn't look at today. Who do you have left to fill in? So I pretty much got Jim, which is Gwendolyn's daughter. I got Ernest Jr., Gwyneth, Nicole and Stephanie, and then I got Jessica, and I got November. So I had to get quite a few more people, but we're gonna keep seeing. I'm gonna read this. Let's see. This is buried under a ton of mail that Carl left in his handbox. It had a handwritten note attached to it to see personal. Do we have to continue to look up Stephanie Jones? Stephanie Jones is over here. We have Stephanie figured out. What clue could they potentially want me to figure out if we have Stephanie and her husband? Love is our future. I wonder if that's something to Google on the spider search. You sound close? Yeah, very close to filling in the full tree for sure. We learned that she was raised by 2 women, just full of love. Love is our future. Maybe that's worth searching. Oh. Carl, I know we don't see eye to eye when it comes to the candy company, but if you could talk to your girls about putting in a statement supporting Stephanie, she could use the publicity your daughters bring. Don't let our conflict spread into the next generation. So, if I had to guess what clue they wanted me to get from this, I really don't know. I will also potentially look up the article in Butler County Times about her and see if there was something there that, may have given me a hint. But geez. Be sure to read the article. But we have to go to the actual Butler County Times for that. All right, so we know a little bit about this. We read this before. So we basically know that she won. She used to have the name Landon. She's married to Brian Jones. That's how we solved them, the couple. Um, she grew up in a home without a father. That helped us solve that other one. And then she's a distant cousin of the Roottrees. And I think it's interesting that this is one thing that I caught interesting last time I read this. Unlike my mother, I'm not a fighter. I want to bring love into the world. But we already have, you know, like she's an artist. What does that mean? Like, what does that even mean? Like, you know, was it just she didn't like her paintings or whatnot, or would that be Carolyn's mother, Clara Lansing? Could be worth a search, I guess. And the Butler County Times will be my last search for this one, I would say. Maybe not, maybe not. I don't know. So interesting. So we have a lot of things that are not answered, honestly. We do have some occupations not necessarily filled in. How the frick will we know what November did? That's what I really am like, what do I need to do to find the last of the evidence, more of the evidence? Is this? I wonder how I even turn off this Steam thing. I need more evidence. That's all I need. That's pretty much what I need. I pretty much have just this to work off of. So what does it mean? What does it mean? What does what mean? What I just said? Before they married, Carl's wife Brenda was a fashion consultant. What clue do they want me to get from this? We got the Business Watch magazine from here. About Stephanie's The lover, not a fighter? I don't know. Shit. She was butting heads with the family. That's what I interpreted as. She didn't want to. I don't know. Maybe her. I don't know. To be honest, truthfully, have no idea. I want to go back to that Carl evidence that we were reading. Yes, Carl was chosen not for his work at the Roottrees, but his company Roots. Maybe we could search up a little Roots. That could also be something that we have to search. Yes, we know about the wife being a fashion consultant. She retired to be a stay-at-home mother. Carl and his second cousin Ernie Jr., who had just become the president. So he's the fourth, I believe. So who will be the third? I would assume the third would be Ernest. Not gonna lie to you. Like Ernest, not his kid. Cinnamon. So essentially, what do we have as Carl? I mean, regardless of if Carl was the CEO of the clothing company, we still got him as the president. So I want to lock in Ernest Jr.'s presidency here with number 4. I don't know who number 3 would be, but number 3 just has to be, right? It has to be nobody else other than Ernest himself. And we still don't know who the fuck Ernest is. We don't have a photo or anything like that. Other blood relatives, yes. They refused to fund it. And basically when it made money, they changed their tune. And basically now all people, all the family benefit. So maybe the clue has to do with Root. Or maybe the clue is me simply getting Ernest Jr. locked in. But I mean, you never know, right? Team Blast has a lot of advertisements for Root. Clothes of some of them mention Brenda, but more often than not, her daughters are mentioned. You find a small bit of an ad from many years back that said be on the lookout for an upcoming article about Raina's inspirations for Root clothing. Okay, so it might be an article somewhere else. And then this was Team Blast. We'll search it here. Don't think it's anything. I don't think it's anything here. I don't think it's anything here. And I believe it might be something in both of these, but probably not this one, yeah. I don't know, man. So what have I not looked at today? I looked at both Sam entries. I believe this is the scandal when Sam got read out loud, or they discovered that Sam was there. Then we went on a little rabbit hole about EC, which we have no idea who EC is. And I believe we looked into both of these. This article is actually very recent. I guess you talk about a baby due by Christmas. They don't have a baby for her here. Now, my other thing I got going for me is it's not going to help me in the long run. It's going to help me solve stuff in the meanwhile, but I don't have a picture of Ernest. I genuinely don't have a photo of this guy. That is Chris and his girlfriend. That is Candy. This is Bethany. Who are you? I forget your name, but we already have you solved. We got Stephanie in here. We got Steven Wilson. We figured out Steven Wilson last time. We went a little rabbit hole about him. I forgot what we read about him. That could be something to look back into, but I believe it helped us solve something. So I don't know. Sometimes when we solve something and we lock stuff in, it kind of got me like, maybe we don't need it anymore. Especially if it don't have any evidence by it. I don't know. And we couldn't find this pediatrician to the stars kind of thing. So, I don't know. Thanks, Shippy. I appreciate you. I'm trying. But who would Ernest be? My thing is like what I want to do is just try to search some stuff, right? I don't want to say Gwyneth was a housewife or she is a student, but if she is kind of like, if they're like the same age in this photo, then perhaps that she has a grown-up job too. I just think it's interesting that I guess family trees don't always equal ages, but I feel like all of these children, besides like Miracle, who was like significantly younger than them, um, let's change Miracle's picture to this one. Besides them, they're kind of in the same age group. Same with like some of these people. Some of them were born a little earlier than others. Some of them are a little younger. But yeah, very intriguing. But yes, I don't exactly know what my next move is right now, other than like would be trying to mess around and push some stuff. I could comb back over this evidence. So we were learning about Sam is this big thing that a lot of things have. Basically, this one titled Sam and the older one titled Sam have 4 clues between both articles. So this is probably a good place to maybe comb over the evidence, I would say. And they were talking about Sam. Maybe finding Sam somehow might find Ernest. Or Ernie, whatever you want to call him. And maybe sort of get a photo of his father. If we get a photo, we could probably get one more person right. I feel like we just don't know names. I mean, we just don't know jobs. We know most of the names. We literally have almost every name in place but the side people. Not the side chicks. But the people that they're with. And then even then, to be honest, we can kind of guess as well. I guess we can't guess. It's all women left. And they had different maiden names before they got with the person, so it won't even, unless the next person up has a double last name, it would not indicate any type of, letting me know this goes here or this goes there. Okay, let's see. We gonna see. I'm gonna try to get something. Try not to get a hint. So we know Uncle Junior and Patsy. Essentially like Sam. Realistically, it was Patsy's parents that sent Sam away, right? Well, either way, I think that doesn't say anything about that, okay? But I really don't know. I'm like reading over this, I'm like, we got Sam. Perhaps maybe it's more stuff about Lauren to look up, but I don't really know about that one. We got Lauren locked in. Gwyneth has the green thumb. So would that mean Gwyneth is a farmer? I don't think this is helping. Green thumb does mean something to do with plants, though. Yeah, I would say this game is definitely pretty challenging. Because it's not as easy as it seems. Like, you want to just slap some stuff down, but it doesn't always make the most sense. Now, do we have anybody's spouse? If we could solve the spouses or just get some type of information about anything, would be cool. Her children have that covered. Yes. Did we ever Google Samantha Roottrees? What about search her in some of these periodicals? Like, we don't get no farmers. Okay. Mother and adopted grandfather. I wonder what that means. Poor cat. And then the only thing else would be literally lead me back to the scandal. No, we just read that. We just read this as well. We read this as well, and we read this as well. So it may be something within evidence that we already have that we might need to look. What's up, Thistle? How are you? Hope you're having a good day. We looked into Boys and Girls Agree. I'm gonna just skim some of this evidence to see what's going on. Okay. We were getting really stuck on these. I'm curious, when is this ad? This is the Teen Pieces ad, huh? So basically, they just changed the colors eventually. So we essentially got 3 new ads. I'm assuming this one would be the newest one. Ooh, you got tea? That's what's up. That's lit. I don't have tea right now, but I got a new tea kettle, and I wish I had it right here to show you. Aldi had these tea kettles on sale. And I just had to. It was so cute. It had lemons on it. It was white. It's beautiful. Haven't put it to use yet. I just got it today, though. What else do we have? I don't think this has anything to do. I don't think any photos perhaps have anything to do. Maybe they do. It could be the descriptions of the photos. We already know this one, or at least I think we were reading this and we were trying to figure out, a little bit more about this one. Aldi knows what's up. Yes, they do. Yes, I've been loving, every so often, they'll drop some new stuff in for the season, and it's kind of cool. Picked up some of those clear containers. Very good organizers. So we're gonna look more into maybe Carolyn and see what's up. There was something like a mother fighter Lover, not a fighter. What's her last name? Morden? Yeah, look at that. We know these people's names. We just don't know how to solve this puzzle. Carolyn and then we figured out what P flag is. And then she wouldn't be in music, but she would be in Butler County for her art. And we know she gets top billing. Let's see. And I believe we searched Atlantis Burden. We can't search it again. We also have a book by her that we don't have here. I wish the book thing was here as well. I'm gonna have to copy and paste that book title. Let's copy that. Okay, and then we did read this, but maybe I'll read it again. This game is about looking at stuff and rereading stuff, and you know, it's okay sometimes. Mostly black and white pictures of Carolyn's art. The centerpiece is a series of full colors nude portraits. Yes, we all giggled about this millions of times. They're not added to our evidence, although that would be an interesting type of thing if they did, but they trolled us. Remember, we laughed about that too. Not in that type of way. But yes, she talks about her influences. She was one of the youngest in her generations. And then she basically felt betrayed by Gwendolyn and her cousin Bonnie. Settled for some boring ass men. And that's basically kind of how we solved the housewife situation. You know what I mean? You said the old PC makes me feel like a kid again. Man, something about that old PC look. I kind of like how everything was boxy. I missed the little, was a little paper clip like in a corner. There used to be like a FAQ, like how to use the computer. Let's see, Dr. Wilson, yeah, and then that's why we are still trying to figure out who Jim Wilson's is and her occupation. I had half a mind to realistically put her as a college student or a, you know, maybe a high schooler per chance. I mean, they all kind of, I mean, obviously this kid is shorter in this photo. Like when you look at this photo, right? Where's the photo? Where's the photo for proof? Yes. But yes, you know, they kind of, she does look the oldest, right? She doesn't, I don't know, to be honest. My big brother or my sister. That doesn't imply if your sister is older or not. That doesn't make me want to slap it down. They said Gwyneth had a green thumb that makes her a farmer, I would assume. And so maybe I should try to put something in here for somebody. Because what if I feel very confident in these three being right, and we got to get 4 to get right, I just need to lock in one more person. That's my theory. You said you could tell me she's 14 or 24. Yeah, pretty much. I feel like, yeah, she kind of looks like she got a little makeup on too, but I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I don't really know, truthfully. I wish it was like even there is a year on this, but that doesn't help. Maybe it does. 1996. It's 1998, and he graduated high school, so he's in college, right? We know it's 1998 via the computer, so that will make her maybe a college student as well. Maybe a student. Maybe a housewife. Okay, no, my confidence is going down. She has the actual job. An actual job or an actual picture for Ernest will help me solve these next 4. I'm close. I'm very close. I'm very, very close. But I want to go back because I believe that these numbers are going to lead me to something good. And I think we were looking at this campaign mailer, and there was something fishy about it. or just her talking about. Oh no, we gotta look up the article. Talking about, like my unlike my mother, I'm a lover, not a fighter. And I was like, what does that even mean? Yeah, I will say that it's hard to navigate this little old PC. Says she's a housewife for this timeline. 1998 is so over. Yo, yeah, for real. I was just, that just, it just helped me solve a lot before. So, that last time I found the little piece of evidence that said she was the first Roottrees before me, or no, the first Roottrees that was a housewife or something other than a housewife. And so I'm like, boom, housewife, boom, housewife, boom, housewife. Yes, right, yes, right, yes, right. But now I'm just stumped. But it's okay. Yes, we know. And this last little bullet point is what we need to focus up on too, I believe. We know that Stephanie is a distant cousin of the Roottrees. We know her mother is named Carolyn Morden, and basically she's appeared on the Butler County Times in the past. We just read her article a while back, I believe. And she opposed the corporation's policy regarding deforestation of indigenous trees to expand their maple farms. Unlike my mother, I'm not a fighter. I want to bring love into the world. So maybe that's a quote. That's a quote via Carolyn. Unlike my mother, not a fighter. Carolyn said that. And then we searched Clara Lansing, and we didn't really find anything. Like my mother. So it would either have to be, right, her talking about... Hold on, let me read this. I wonder if we could search this quote. Too long. Imagine this was Google. If this was Google, that whole quote would have got us the most perfect, and I mean the most perfect search result, Thank you for the lurk, Shippy. I appreciate you for hanging out. It means a lot to me. What does that mean? A fighter. I guess let's go back to searching Clara Lansing. I don't... What's that mean? She like not trying to fight with the family? I think my dilemma is I feel like I don't really have much to solve, knowing that I don't really have all the evidence, or I don't think I have all the evidence. I think if I had all the evidence, I would have all the pictures, and because I don't have all the pictures, and there is I don't think any more pictures. Yeah, we know who these folks are. Like I'm kind of stuck to, with these. Essentially, I'm kind of stuck with 7 out of 8. You know what I mean? Until I get this next evidence. Like I can kind of guess what Nicole did, right? Nicole could be a student. The problem is these all were taken differently. Like to think that Bethany, who I also thought was a college student, right? Does she not also give college student? Like her brother, like they kind of look like a similar age, you know what I mean? But she is a student. And then they could kind of look like the same age, but I guess that's the point. They want you to think. I need to think. I don't even know what that means. I want to bring love to the world. I believe when we were looking up Carolyn Morden had a... Oh, we still had the book up. Yes, we, they settled for boring men, and she doubled down on her passions, art and environment. She married a man who was the opposite of boring, which was an overcorrection. Ha 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 ha, right? She ended up marrying a woman. We already know that. Said her backgrounds give senior yearbook. You know what? You're absolutely right. You're right. It does kind of give senior yearbook. I can see that. I can see that. I'm trying to remember. We just had like a white background, I believe, for our senior photos. That was so long ago. Man. Not that long ago. I'm not that old. I'm not that old. Right? Don't get it twisted. I'm kind of stumped. I'm thinking. So the initial things that I could assume is that this could be a quote from Stephanie talking about her mother, Carolyn, or this could be a quote from Carolyn talking about her mother, what was her mother's name? Clara, yes. Because her father's that, got that. Alright, so basically I'm assuming that this is about her mom, and Clara Lansing might be somebody we need to look up. But I feel like we didn't find anything. Oh, of course. There's something here. There's something here. There's something between the lines I'm not getting right now. But I feel like I gotta be close. Absolutely have to be. Somebody's in the background screaming like, you just read it. You just read the answer. And I'm probably like, what am I looking for? But multiple of the rabbit holes I went down have been a bust. I went on a rabbit hole about this person named EC, and that was a bust because we couldn't really find much about it. We are in this rabbit hole about this lover versus fighter thing. I wouldn't call it a complete bust, but like, gosh, holy moly, what is that even? What do we need? What do we do? What do we have? What do you look like you do for a job? Now we're just guessing. How many do you need to fill in before it locks them in? I need 4 at the moment. And I feel very confident in this trio. I do. Hydrate? Thank you. Look, I need to hydrate. That's what I need. I need water. Water's the answer. Actually, I was very thirsty. Huh. Genealogy for dunces. That's hilarious. I never noticed that. But yes, I need 4, and I feel confident with these 3. You. So we got November. We could search. We could also just outright go to Butler County Times and kind of search people's names in. I mean, no, nothing says we can't. Gwyneth Madsen. Excuse me. Why? Why does this not help me? And then we already searched Jim Wilson. I mean, we can again, but maybe finding the Wilson himself, Stephen Wilson. That was somebody that we figured out last time, but maybe we didn't search too much into. The only part I would be like, what else do we need if there's no numbers? I could totally be thrown off by it. You said, why that trio? Because I think, you know, I have that thought, right? Well, I feel like for a fact, Stephanie's a farmer, right? I know Gwyneth has a green thumb. We don't know what she does, though, necessarily. And we know Ernest was a president before, I assume, right before Carl. If Carl is the last president, there's only 5 presidents. The only person who makes sense and is older than Carl is Ernie Jr. And they also talked about him taking over there, transforming over there. I'm like, what is? But yes, I feel like what I feel like I could have wrong with Ernest would be the number of the president, which I keep going back and forth. But I don't think anybody else. Imagine everything changed and somebody ended up being the next president of the company. No, it's only 5 presidents. So after Carl, it's done. I don't know, man. Yeah, I don't exactly know what Gwyneth's occupation is, but I know we read something about a green thumb. That's what gave me the farmer thing. Presidency, that kind of came along with a lot of different things. And we know that Stephanie worked as a farmer? No. How'd you decide each parent went with each kid? I kind of just winged it. No, I'm joking. I kind of like well, really, to be honest, I kind of sort of went with the whole. For the most part, what has led me through this whole thing has been like kind of like the hair. I feel like for the most part, I feel like the hair color carried me through these. I feel like in this one you couldn't tell if anybody had a different hair color, but knowing that Angelica had that bright, not orange hair, but yeah. And then that's kind of how I got there. We get the brown hair, exact brown color. They talked about these 2 twins. We already know these 2 pictures. The twins. They're come on. Y'all know that's twins. Now, what also could be different is that Ernest could not be the oldest. Gwyneth could be the oldest, and like these could be swapped. I wish I could search a name and have every evidence that has the name there locked in. And then who the hell would... I feel like I can't even be like, oh, it's the one who had glasses. They both got glasses. You said can't hide Ginger. Nope, can't hide that. And also the blondes over here. You know, look at that. Come on now. Well, I guess these, you know, brown-ish hair kid. But, you know, the Miracles too. Like, their whole blonde family. I think the other thing I'm struggling with the thought is like, even if I do solve the next 4, that doesn't help me for the last 4. Let's just say that. I mean, it does. It does. Come on, it does. Let me be real. It does. But I feel like in the fact that I know I need more evidence, I'm like, what do I need to do to find this evidence? But essentially how I decided which kids go with the parents is I believe that in general, I think the last name also had something to it. You're onto something. The tags in this game would be sick. Oh man, it really would be. But yes, also we know for a fact that, or I guess this is like, you know, newer, you know, the woman doesn't have to take the guy's last name, but assuming that the woman took the guy's last name, and Sam is Stephanie's. I feel like we know this is Stephanie. Clark wrote a something about his cousins. Where's that picture? Right here. A soul Stephanie, Chris Rafferty's cousins. And this is his third cousin, Stephanie. And so basically knowing Stephanie's last name, Cattrall, I think I just slapped Stephanie down here because there's nobody else that can, be Stephanie in this case. And then, like, for the Wilsons, like, I think I also did, like, a little bit of, kind of like a little bit of number kind of thing. Like, I was like, oh, like, it's 4 Wilsons, so that must mean it's a dad Wilson and these 3 children, or, something like that. And then with these 4, I think I just was like, oh, they all stand next to each other. That's they pointed out. What do I need, man? But yes, I am on the verge of finding something great. The question is, what am I looking for that's great? I don't have any more pictures of anybody, realistically. Every picture I have is locked in as somebody. You know what? I could, if they're siblings, that also I could put one of them down as something. The problem is I can't change everything up. If I didn't know it, I would say that this younger girl is probably maybe 7 or 8 years old. Wait, no, I don't know. Let's assume that these people are 5'5" max, right? Let's say the mom's 5'5", 5'6", the dad's 5'5", and then the daughter's almost the mom's height, and then the youngest daughter's a good chunk of the dad's height. So maybe the daughter's under 10 versus the other daughter being a preteen. So maybe she could perhaps be a college kid. Maybe, perhaps. But yeah, we haven't had anything locked in for her as well. Oh, I mean college. Yes. Maybe she didn't graduate college and she's a doctor. No, I don't. I really don't. I don't. What could you be, Nicole Madsen? And then why? I guess another thing, I'm like, what is this number situation with this game? I will say that one thing would be interesting. Do they tell you how old the photos are? Some of them do. Like this one doesn't. This one has a thing. This one doesn't. I'm sure we could probably search when this was made, the Super Bowl ad. Did we ever look this up? This seems new. Why did you make me stumble upon something totally different and I was looking for something totally different? I don't know what you said. Something about how old the photos are? What the heck? Roottrees Maple Super Bowl commercial from 1994 has a family bickering in a department store. Father bites into a maple Roottrees crisp. Time stops and the jingle plays while he dances down the aisle. As he does, different things in a department store become Roottrees candy. For example, a bed that the father collapses onto becomes a giant chocolate bar. The jingle Need the Rest went on featured in other commercials with other scenarios. Okay. I want to keep this here real quick. I don't really want to move it. And I want to search that here. Just in case it's anything else about it, because I feel like I wasn't being thorough and searching every avenue that I could have, even though I don't think it'll be on the Teen Blast. Come on, let's be real. So we need to search up Need the Rest. Let's copy that. Wow. No, I mean that's kind of cool. I mean, I feel like if you did whatever hint you were trying to give me, I guess gave me some random hint. I've never discovered one of these websites. I guess I don't know. This is a famous jingle for Root Tree Maples, originating in Super Bowl. Jingle goes, when you're surrounded by madness and mayhem, reach for the best. There's enough there to share, but let's face it, you need the rest. I mean, what does that help me with? You know, I don't know. Nothing. No ad, no extra evidence. I mean, that kind of was, we did something. You know, we did something. I really feel like we just did something just now. Can I say what we just did? No. Do I know if it's going to be helpful? Maybe. I mean, it's something different. It's something different. One sec. I do feel very close, though, in getting some stuff. Oh, no, I didn't do my Duolingo. I'm gonna remember. Trust. I'm gonna remember. I'm gonna remember to do that Duolingo later. I just think it's cool that people saw the game differently. I agree. I feel like this is one of those games to look back into. Like, you know what's crazy? One of my favorite games that I played is called Outer Wilds. And recently, I played it like a year ago or so, maybe almost 2 years ago. But it was like one of those games where it's just like an open-ended puzzle, and it's amazing. Anybody can go to any planet and start their journey exactly in a different way. And even, I mean, there's very low chance of a lot of these games where people solve them the same way, and I think it's so cool. Yes, oh my gosh, I feel like it's a really overrated game. It's a really overrated game. It's one of those games, I would say, yeah, it's like my top three. I would say, I don't really know if a game that could top it right now of one of my games, but when I think about like a game I really felt like empty without playing, I would say Outer Wilds. It's really cool. It's a really cool experience. Without revealing too much, is there's always more to the story, and you're there to figure out something, and it's kind of like this in a way, but it's not like this at all. Like, it's more so like a puzzle thing versus like the more logic puzzle. Like, this is more like what Obra Dinn, right? But yeah, Outer Wilds is, that was the game that really got me into playing different type of games. I was like, wow. I was playing different type of games before, but not heavy into some of this like puzzle game stuff and logic puzzle and whatnot. Okay, what do I need? I don't know, actually. First, I was like, maybe she could be a model, but this is just a family portrait. This is interesting, though. This doesn't have any clues, like, labeled on it, but it was something extra to look up. So maybe I just need to keep looking. Okay. Anything that sounds like a periodical, a book title, a movie, a song, a name, anything is something I need to look up, because we're at a dead end with Samantha. We're at a dead end with EC. Excuse me. We read about the Clans Trust. We read about this, but I'm gonna read a little bit more to see. And do we have somebody's wife name locked in as Nicole? Yeah, we do. Okay, never mind. That's the only wife we have so far. I mean, we could. His wife, Edith. And who is this Miracle Jr. that we just looked up? I mean, we're getting something solved at bare minimum, right? Said Lord, would she drop another book, please? No, for real, please. She is telling me solve this whole thing. If she dropped 2 books, I don't need none of this other evidence, for real. And then we got this clergy watch. I wonder what his actual name is. He shortened it to Miracle Jr. Okay. And then we gotta search up Miracle Roottrees himself. I don't think we have Miracle Roottrees' spouse. Yeah, no, we don't. Miracle Roottrees estate. That could be something to search. I'm gonna keep reading before we search it, though. Witness the test. I almost said something crazy. Witness the testimonies of the Miracle's Roottrees. Miracle Roottrees arrived so late in his brother's life, the doctor swore he couldn't survive his first year. His mother and father, Elias and Gwyneth, named him Miracle because they thought him impossible. Yep, we realized he was 14 years younger. He almost died from his health complications. He persevered. And we know he had a kid. At 18, he unburdened himself from the Roottrees name. Interesting. Okay, I guess I'm gonna look this up. Miracle Roottrees estate. I feel like anything could be the next little clue I need. I was hoping that was gonna be something. Let's go back to Clergy Watch. Nope, we were looking at Miracle Roottrees. You know where else we didn't look up Miracle Roottrees? We didn't look here. He wanted to be in Team Blast, but he'll probably be in Butler County Times, so. Miracle Roottrees and a son who goes exclusively by Miracle Jr. So Miracle Roottrees essentially just doesn't go by a last name at all. A great deal over the years. You do find one article mentioning legal troubles. Unfortunately, it's a throwaway line in the article about a tour they plan to take across the southern United States called the 3 Generations of Miracles Tour. We'll copy that. The author speculates they're going on a tour to leave their legal troubles behind. Because of the advertisements, the results in Butler County Times are not particularly relevant to your search. Any attempts to find any more about these legal troubles is thwarted. Let's search what we just got. That's exactly what we just read. That's not gonna help me find a spouse. I don't really know these last 2 spouses might be some type of we figure it out. I guess we could search Edward Roottrees or whatnot. I don't know. I've been thinking about taking a hint. I'm trying to debate on what I want to do. Show marketing items, show text items. What? Why have I not touched any of this? These are photos. And I don't necessarily think the photos will help us because I feel like we know for the most part most of these people. But what might help us could potentially be it could be helpful. Chris Rafferty, yep. Di Choto Mai. I wonder what that's about. That's something else that we don't know, but maybe that's part of the art. I don't know. He's if you want to hit, I think there's a pic you can revisit. Okay. I can look at some pictures. That's kind of cool. I kind of end up being here anyway. Photo tucked aside the envelope to Carl and Brenda, and we don't have both of these people identified exactly. I believe that this is the lady I thought in this picture. I assumed that the lady was Deborah, and therefore I'm like, why would we, why do I need a pic? Why do I know? Why would this be Deborah if I don't have a picture? And also it could be somebody that's here, but they also don't have a picture here, so I don't really know why we'll actually have the ability to take that photo of this person if they're not on this thing, Yes, we learned that Ernie died. It's traditional to have it as soon as possible, and Ernie, more than anyone else on Earth, knew how busy your job could be. So yes, we were right in saying that Ernie, I'm assuming that Carl took over the presidency after Ernie died. And that's another thing saying in general, talking about, basically, he knew how hard your job could be. I've enclosed a Shiva candle, identical to ours, if you'd like to pay our respects, though it's not expected for those outside the faith to do so. Ernie was a man of love, not only for his family, for his family legacy. He had an immense amount of pride that you three did together. Three. Poor lady getting left out the family scrapbook. Alright. Like, why is she even here? No. That's kind of rude. Maybe, I don't know. When we first did it, I swore our number was at 50 or 51. So maybe she is coming in. Maybe she's going to be like some people at the bottom. Something like that. I don't know. Carry on after him. So you three, I assume, could be Brenda, Carl, and Ernie Jr. It's impossible to express my gratitude enough for rescuing us from the panic of burden and endless bills. So we're caught too late to be on the donor list. It went unsaid at the time, but Ernie and I knew it could have been Carl that convinced the trust, and that it was no coincidence that it happened shortly after your visit. I'm gonna search everything. I really am. Laugh Lounge is a comedy club that hosts several fundraisers. I feel like we read this, but why not? Joke-a-lantern, which happens every Halloween. Comics and patrons are encouraged to wear costumes, and the person with the best costume wins a voucher, which can be redeemed for 5 pounds of buffalo wings. W, that's actually kind of like a W. I would go dress up to get some wings. 5 pounds? That's a lot of wings. 2 drink minimum, 0 tolerance policy for heckling. I don't think that's important to what we got going on or not, but you never know. Where were we? So we looked at these. We looked at you. We looked at you. We looked at you. Now this guy, he's kind of sus. I don't know what we need to find about him. We actually got him confirmed in the thing, and a photo with him confirmed as well. But we really don't know what else. The buffalo, the buffalo sauce gets him the costume, and that's just the price you pay. Yeah, actually, you gotta buy another costume for next year. Or maybe like, you know, you and your friends could go all out on like a whole like really good costumes, and then whoever gets it just shares a wing. You know, shares the wings with everybody else. 5 friends, £1 each. It's like £1. It's like, you know, between 10 to 15 wings, I believe, right? It depends on if they're full or wingdings. Yes, we've seen that picture. Roottrees sisters got milk. A test photo before they painted the fake mustaches on. You might recognize our faces from the magazines you're reading or the candy bar you're eating. Being a Roottrees is a full-time job, so I was growing up. Huh. Actually, that's kind of funny. I could search this up. And Got Milk is a series of advertisements for milk funded by dairy farms that feature celebrities with milk mustaches. Okay, so we ain't getting nothing much, but I mean, I don't know. No. Just because they were teenagers, I believe, yeah. And seen Blast often. There was more photos here. Yeah, we know about Gwen and her children. We got them locked down, I feel like. Found this on a website about basically the laugh line, which is captioned Jack watching one of his mother's charity sets. I mean, I'm looking everything up that sound like a name or something. I don't know. Yep, we read this already. The Butt Brother Trouble stuff. But you beat this game, Thistle. So you already know how wild it is. That, what is it, Ronald? This guy. Sick kind of guy. No, he's really a mama's boy, right? Am I right? Maybe. Okay. So we know she did stuff. It's interesting. They tell us so much about the spouse's jobs and whatnot. The free spirits. I mean, did we? I feel like we searched this at the beginning. That's the name of the second generation, but I don't think anything necessarily pops up about it right now. And then we got this one that we just looked at. And then we got this one. Imagine we need to get some people. Who are you? What? Why just click on him and I got a picture? Who the f is that? Is that EC? Bro, did Elias say like, oh, like, you the gay son I don't want. You could just stand all the way in the back, act like you work for the farm / warehouse. I don't know. Who the hell is that? Would that? Hold on, let's read it. Picture was famous in our house. Pop having a frame. That's him on the left. This was to celebrate the design, the new warehouse. Angie and I both wanted to be in the photo since Miracle was in it, and 3 of us were about the same age. That's kind of crazy to think about. To think of that Lauren, right? Wait, did Lauren write? Yeah, this is written from Lauren. Lauren is about the same age as Miracle. That's interesting, right? He said the family drama is wild. He said no, for real, Rafferty LaRoe. That's kind of wild. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna fuck all the sisters, but he couldn't, obviously. Yeah, I think that's kind of wild. The youngest sister, that's extra crazy too. Maybe that's why the youngest daughter is mad as hell. It's like, I know what you did. I know what you did, Clark. Mr. Morden. And then who is Mr. Morden's spouse? Aunt Gwendolyn? We don't have a picture. Weird. Low-key, what if that is Ernest? Just standing in the background. I mean, he don't really look, he kind of look like blonde, right? He don't look the part. He don't look the part at all. To be honest, but interesting. So that means that could be, nah, that ain't Sam. We only have option to put photos in a couple spots. So we only have the option to put a photo here for Sam. We only have the option to put a photo for Ernest. But like you said, we might have some fake photos in here that are throwing it off. Did you not look? Man, I don't know. This is the highlights I got. I keep deleting pages. I don't really like how user unfriendly it feels. Yeah, I don't know. You type and you push enter and it just saves a note. I don't know. It's okay, I would say. It's not the worst thing in the world. But you know, it's here. I'm gonna start. Yeah, there we go. I did use it for this. Like, I used it to compare these two, like the two flavors, to be, you know about EC, and we know EC stands for egg cream, or the illegitimate son of Elias. I'm assuming the original Elias. But honestly, that could be Mr. Morden away in the background, and we just don't know. So now that we know that we could potentially get people in the background, are there any other photos that we don't have? And we got this, and we summarized it all. Unfortunately, there are no extra people in these other photos. Imagine we could just get some evidence or something. That kind of threw me off. Where were we? I think we were looking at this. And then we looked at Jack's mom. Did we look at these? Gwen and the boys. Yep. And I'm pretty sure it's gotta be Mr. Morden, potentially. If they give me egg cream flavor, I would change my dang name. That can't be good. That can't be good. I can't imagine a scenario in which egg cream is good. One sec. I think the pediatrician to the stars should be something I look up, or it could be something that is going to help me figure something else out. So I'm thinking right now, when I see your pediatrician to the stars, I'm thinking that he might be in the Starlet, or the teen thing. But I guess only time will tell. So maybe Steven Wilson I can find somewhere else. I mean, we know he's the pediatrician to the stars, so I mean, I don't know. Realistically, no. Apparently, he's irrelevant. Like, tell me how old your kids are. Tell me what they do. And we noticed that he didn't write this. Because what 10-year-old writes world-class care, right? And the hint was that the very hint that, okay, there's something in these photos. What I did notice last time is we were talking about these photos and the discrepancy between the names and how many people were in there, and then we discovered that it was November here. Can we actually search November Roottree? What did I just... November. Okay. I'm gonna say I'm literally losing it. I probably should use the notes. Didn't talk about the video games fake 10-year-old. 10 out of 10 fake. Yeah, absolutely. I pretty much kind of lost my train of thought. So what's my next move? We got some people whose pictures are probably not here. Right? We don't have any more pictures enter of spouses. Oh, we were type of November Roottree. But I feel like some of these people are so young. They're not gonna pop up in some places. They would literally have to be in any of these categories to pop up, which is not true. Teen Blast? No. Yeah, I did want to look up November, yes. What else could I be doing? Imagine I had clues in here. Cashew peaches are delicious. No neighbors outside being loud. I think November Rootree's too young, but she's old enough. I don't think is anybody on this list a student. I feel like everybody on this list, on this generation, is old enough to have an actual job. So I think that rules November out of being potentially a student. Although that really doesn't matter necessarily. Granted that she could just be like the youngest. But I believe that who said that? Carolyn was one of the youngest. So that means that November was the actual youngest. So November could also be maybe the same age. When was this picture taken? Every 20 or so years, the Roottrees will hold a big family reunion and recreate an old family photo. This is the one from the 70s. This is 1935. So 35, 55, 75. So if this is the one from the 70s, that means that these people in this photo are roughly 35, 40-ish years older. Not exactly. That's not exact, but we know nobody's in this photo, but there's another photo in between then too. Is it this one that's like in between this one? This one is from the 70s, and one is this, not this one. This one is from, we don't know. But the 70s is given like 20 years ago from now, because it's 1998. Yes. You have no notifications. There are no documents printing. Can you help me print? Oh, I just disconnected from the internet. Wow, that's so cool. We gotta do dial-up apparently. Okay, well I messed up. I appreciate you for refreshing that shit. That'll be too deep. I skipped doing the 90s photos too. It's a logistical nightmare. Yeah, I would. I would too. Nobody agreed. Nobody gets along too. I feel like also you were talking about, you know, the background's given like high school photo, but I also feel like her arm out was kind of, you know, it's kind of giving a little grown, but I don't know. Who knows? I don't know. I feel like something like that may not be something I would have worn or would have been allowed to wear in high school. But I had strict parents, so we know everybody in his photos but Gwen. I think I might actually take an in-game hint. I'm gonna take a second. We just recently looked up Steven Wilson. We looked up about the kids. We got every kid except Jim. We don't know what Jim does, but we know Jim is... We know for a fact that we have Jim as the middle child. Right? So she very much... We could potentially lock her in being like, you know, K through 12 or being a college student just much younger. If this is an older picture, when was this picture taken? 1996, so this is 2 years ago. So she's the middle child 2 years ago. She could be in college now. The problem is changing one thing is not going to help me. I need to change multiple things, or something I have is wrong. I didn't have an occupation for Gwyneth here at first, but something said a green thumb. My green thumb is given, you know, farmer, whatnot. You know, my mom would have also lost it. Why you show your arm off? No, for real. Who do you think you are? That kind of thing. Confirming the names of the... See, that's the problem. I don't know. I feel like I wish the jobs also locked off. That would also be very helpful if the jobs locked off. There's also some jobs that I don't even think we have, that we never put CEO in there. We didn't put cashier in there. They're just throwing us off some of this stuff. I feel like that's valid, but I feel like I thought I did. So they don't go by their government. Ernest, Roottrees, Ernie, Roottrees. Ernie Roottrees would not be in here. They'd probably be in Bowler Crowder Town, if anything. His last name is not Roottrees. It's Madsen. Okay. Okay. You would think that we could potentially find something on Business Watch, being that we found stuff about Elias and Carl. I don't know. This is. I don't know. Let's keep going. Let's just read it in general, and I feel like maybe mid-reading I will figure out if I had it before. Let's see. An article from 1982 announces that Ernest Madison Jr. is taking over the day-to-day operations of the Roottree after the previous president died unexpectedly. Yeah, and then we talked about the Roottree curse. I feel like I gotta blow my nose. I'm trying to do the thing where you wipe your nose. Give me 1 second. Nose is blown. Yes. So basically, there's some type of Roottree curse, and basically that, not Roottree curse, but people believe it's a curse because a lot of the old presidents died before in mysterious ways. Little is known about Ernest, but sources close to the family who was asked to remain anonymous. You know what I just got the random thought of? What if that lady that we're helping, what if that's Sam? No, wouldn't she be old by now? Maybe. Like Samantha? What if we were helping Samantha? I don't know. I don't know what made me think of that, but yes. There are rumors that Ernest had originally trained to succeed Zach Morton, but had been passed up for unspecified reasons. Now, when I say Ernest, are we still talking about Ernest Matson Jr. or are we talking about Ernest? Because, like, when I was reading this, I get the vibe that Ernest... Who the fuck would be the third president? Somebody's the third and somebody's the fourth. Would they both... You know what I mean? Sam just needs the extra help because family really is too confusing. Right, Sam needs to know, like, okay, so who is this? Who's married to who? Let me know the tea. What's the family tea? Let me fit in here. Ernest had been originally trained to succeed Zach Morton, but had been passed up for specific reasons. The last 4 years at Roottrees have been rough. In an attempt to keep our products relevant in the modern audiences, some of our decisions have unintended consequences, from the fancy flavors misstep to batter up bar. We've taken a bit of tumble in the public eye, but Mr. Matson is committed to bringing back the basics. He was passed up. So meaning, I don't know. What did his dad get? I don't. Let's search some of this stuff. Fancy flavors. Oh yeah, Guy Hudson was a president. What number was he? The third? And then what we got, fourth? Oh. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, I believe. And then the only other part that I maybe, if this article was initially talking about Ernest Jr., or Ernest, talking about Ernest Jr. and then he swapped over to talk about his dad Ernest, then that would just be on me to do. But I did have President 3 in there twice before we got Guy. I guess that was something that we kept in there for a while. Or just tinfoil hat nonsense, yeah. I don't know. I think something's fishy here. I think somebody's doing some stuff in the backgrounds or whatnot. I don't know. Ouch. Stubbed my finger. An attempt to cater more towards what he thought the average person wanted. Yes, we saw that. Yeah, he made caviar flavors. And then it flopped. And then let's see this batter up bar. Batter Up Bar was a failed candy bar released by the Roottrees Candy Company. Launched with great fanfare in 1980, it was meant to evoke the classic combination of pancakes and maple syrup. Who the frick? Come on now. A candy bar that is like pancakes and syrup? Okay. The name came from the fact that a recipe used a creamy imitation of pancake batter as its filling, and the packaging had baseball imagery. Consumers loved the taste, and the candy launched to stellar reviews, but after a little less than a month on the shelf, it was discovered that the filling of unopened bars began to separate and develop an off-putting texture described as powdery chunks flooding an oily goop. Ew. Okay, this was a failure, I assume, yeah. Maybe we can search. I mean, we're finding more like this one we've never seen before. So we're finding more stuff. It's just like not here. Liniment griddles to Mickey D's. No, for real. The fact that they tried to make it candy is crazy. Ernest had originally trained to succeed Zach. So essentially, I guess this is helping me. This would have helped me figure out that Guy was the president before Ernest. So, I'm assuming this is talking about Guy died unexpectedly. You know what? This candle's been on for a while. I want to figure out how to get a candle to burn evenly. Some candles don't be doing it right. Like, should I have just blown it out, like, very softly, or what? What's the secrets? And we don't have all the photos. Or all the items. We just have a whole bunch of stuff. But what could I possibly need? There's something else potentially. Let's look for any other pictures that we might need. We got all 4 of these. I'm like, is there anybody in the background? Like, I'm gonna click the background anyway. Can we get a tree to put in this family tree? Or something? Anything in the background of this? I'm like looking for small stuff like this, for example, like a scene on this. Man, you make me feel like I'm like real close. Like, why is it just Elias and his kids? I mean, Jim. Okay, right, Jim. We just kind of slap something on there. Something's wrong. I'm very, and I'm almost certain that the pictures I have, where I have them, are right. I'm almost certain of it. And I'm very certain at this point now that Ernest is the fourth president, right? He was the president right before Carl. And right before him was Guy. So basically, he was being trained, and we thought he was right after, so that's why we were going back and forth between 3 and 4. But I forgot I already had Guy locked in this whole time, apparently. Um, yes, he said I am. Yes, overthought. Overthought about what the kids are too. Like the game is really vague about it. Yeah, I feel like the kids are something like maybe they thought like you could just guess or something like that, and then you'll be all right. But yes, I am very certain about these. I'm also very potentially certain about this Stephanie. I don't know what we read that she was a farmer. To be honest, but I don't know. It makes me want to change that. What would she be? She was in middle school in this photo. And then, how do I even... There was something way back when. I don't have it. But it was some email from Chris. It was like Chris Rafferty plus some numbers. But I don't... Something about his siblings. And he couldn't use his famous siblings. But he was in class. Girl. There's extra shit on this page. Won a trip to a new movie set. Also, how to know if he's in, if he's interested. But brother trouble, new gossip. Man, that's crazy. It's been like 2 hours, and I've been doing pretty good. I ain't take no hints or nothing. It's not like I'm allergic to hints, but I was trying to see, what's going on, and I'm like, I could taste it on my tongue. I know that I have a couple things right, but I also know that you said you also use a lot of hints at the end. I can see why. I can see why. If truly I have all evidence that I need, then this would literally be Ernest, but I just don't think it would be. Why would this be his kid if he's in the same picture with him, right? It's given that this is literally Mr. Morton, and that's another picture, just like the picture of the woman that we got thrown off by, right? That's how you spell it. Something has to give. Something's going to pop up some search result. They say if you do the same thing with no result, it's insanity. Call me insane. No, why did it do that? I don't know. Before I get a hand, I'm gonna do a couple more things. I'm gonna go ahead and check out everything that I'm gonna reread this stuff that has clues to it in case I'm missing something in particular. Especially with the clues. Do you have any idea where Sam fits in, or a photo or anything? Yeah, I know who Sam is. I know exactly who Sam is. Sam is right here. Sam is this woman. This is Sam. Jet black hair, green eyes. They didn't want Sam to be in this picture. This is absolutely Sam. And then I'm pretty sure, or I'm assuming Sam goes here. That's the thought. That's the thought. Wait a second. Wait a second. If we're going by how we have assumed everything is to be, with the exception of Gwen's father, most other Roottrees, the name comes from the males of the family. So that means I have Ernest in the wrong spot. Where would Ernest go if Ernest Jr. is here? I don't know. And then where would... No. 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 Yeah. She would have got the Roottrie name from Elias. So that means that her spouse is Ernest. The same reason, the same logic that helped me solve the other puzzle is the same logic I could use here. Then Ernest wouldn't go here. Ernest Jr., just the fact that Ernest and the Jr. is like the firstborn, it kind of got me thrown off. You got this? You got this? Yes, yes. I'm cooking right now. Maybe. So let's see. Samantha Roottrie is a farmer. Maybe. I was hoping that was gone. She worked with a farmhand. She was raised by the farmhands, I think. I don't know. Okay, let's keep reading, though. That absolutely makes sense. Okay. This whole time I've been like, Sam's not on this photo. Sam's not on this tree. I didn't know Sam's with the Roottrie. She's a fine woman. Ernie, kids are lucky to have her, and her children seem eager to help the family in their own ways. Ernie has been learning day to day from Zach. This is what also made us think that he took over right after Zach, but we realized that he did not. Ooh, sheesh. I'm sorry for your viewing pleasure. That was kind of crazy. I'm kind of turning in my chair, and I got like a mouse, little slide table. I know y'all hear. Maybe y'all hear. I don't know. Okay, stretch. Farm operations, Samantha Roottrie. So would she be a farmer? Farm operations. Can I Google the word? Is that cheating? I'm about to Google the word CEO. Chief Executive Officers. They don't got shit to do with operations. She's not inherently a farmer. The farm's operations will pass to... So would she be a director, a CEO? Well, what do we got in here that will apply? I mean, technically, like, this is the farm that she has control over, but she would be kind of sort of like the CEO of it. She's also could be a director kind of thing, like, I think that's all that would, yeah. Maybe she the CEO. Gwyneth had her mother's green fingers, right? Where do we read that? I wish I could just search where I read some of these things. Are you assuming when you get it right, you'll lock in the next 4? Yes, that's exactly what I'm assuming. I remember Golden Idol. Yes, I remember Golden Idol. I remember Golden Idol. Why do we have them as farmers? Because we assume that they, you know, the rule over the peasants for eternity. What does that even mean, bro? Rule over the peasants for eternity? She's a comedian. Haha. It wouldn't be president though. We have that. We have those together. Okay, let's keep reading. Gwyneth has the green thumb of her mother and adopted grandfather. Her mother and adopted grandfather. So her grandfather would be here. Who's her adopted grandfather? So that sentence is given that they're both farmers, right? Is there anything else? Green thumb, no. What I'm not most ashamed about, Sam's a spitting image of Patsy with her jet black hair and green eyes. She doesn't have the thick glasses that Patsy does, of course, but I guess that skips a generation. Her children have it covered. Sam wouldn't receive any candy money after all. It was essential, inherent. It was essentially inheriting. So essentially, she got the right to, quote unquote, rule over the peasants. So I'm assuming she got a right to control the farm. That's what potentially put CEO. Pop warned us away from that farm for years. I've never met EC in person, but Pop once referred to him as confirmed bachelor, and I suspect that's why he kept us from there. Sam had to grow up in a house with him and his roommate. And then we searched Mr. Miller and didn't find anything. Okay, so now, with a quick re-examination, based on last names, I'm pretty sure I have everybody where they need to be. I don't know spouses. I don't know spouses whatsoever. We got Joanne, we got April, we got Helen, and we got Patricia. We're those, and we got Deborah. Where do these spouses go? Oh! Duh. If the lady is Deborah, then she potentially goes here. But maybe Gwyneth is older. What if Gwyneth is older? And what is making me think that is because this guy is this age in that same picture as, you know, obviously him. For the most part, a lot of people who have pictures have been somewhere here. So if we put this as Deborah, which who we actually have a picture of, where is she? Right here. And then Ernest that will make Ernest the youngest. Which we don't know for facts, but we can kind of assume. Based on just having a picture of Deborah. That's Gwyneth. And we think that she was a farmer. Now we just gotta change the photos. I knew it! We had a photo for a reason! So what does that mean about that gray photo of that random ass guy? Hey, I got a thing. Locking everyone. I don't know what it said. It said locking everyone. Yes! I cooked up a storm. Cooking with grease. Yes! Gwen and Ernie finding spouses that love them. 4 eyes and all. No, for real. Yes. I wish I could see what that achievement said. Steam, help me. Locked in everyone in the next generation photograph. 70% of people have that achievement. I imagine anybody that beat the game probably has that achievement in particular. But yes, we got these 3 right. So I was actually, funny enough, I had the Gwyneth and I had Ernest right. I just had them swapped. But knowing that Deborah didn't have a photo, it made so much sense. So now that means their daughters are swapped. So Stephanie goes here. No, that's her dad. And then Nicole. Which we don't know Nicole's occupation. But we have a picture. And that also means that we're wrong here. So I could swap this to K through 12. That also means, oh no, we solved this one. So we have her right now. She is K through 12. But we do know that that's wrong. We know for a fact that this is Wilson, and we know for a fact that this is her picture. We just know that she wasn't a college student. So I'm going to put her as K through 12. I mean, unless we get any other news that she was a dropout, I think that this might be something that we can anchor in as potentially being correct. So now we're on to our last 4 people. We have November, we have Nicole, we have Stephanie, and we have Jim. Which I read somewhere about Stephanie. Let's see what we still have evidence about. So now we don't have any evidence. We have only evidence attached to this. I'm gonna just go ahead and read it all because it all might be important, and we're so close. We're so close. Oh, if I didn't have to work in the morning, gosh. But I mean, it'll give me a little bit longer. But yes, hopefully I can maybe sort of get a little bit more here. All right, so this is buried. This is a local flyer about Stephanie Jones. On the back is an excerpt from the newspaper article from the Butler County Times about her campaign. She may have grown up in an unconventional family, to say the least. But it was still full of love, and now 22 years later, with a baby of her own due around Christmas, her message to voters is simply, love is our future. I'm curious if that is something that comes up with anything. No? Okay. I mean, some of these quotes, at least the quotes were like the candy, like the candy flops. Those were something that was there. Carl, I know we don't see eye to eye when it comes to the candy company, but if you could talk to your girls about putting in a statement supporting Stephanie. Yes. And this is from Carolyn. But why would we have that? That means that Stephanie has there's something here. Let's go ahead and search Stephanie Jones again. So we already know we gotta go back to Butler County Times. Okay, nice. It just loaded. That was kind of interesting. Okay. Most recent mention of Stephanie Jones is a small report detailing the election results, and she won. Full version of the newspaper clipping on the back of the campaign mailer. While most of it is unimportant, you found the following. Stephanie Jones, born Stephanie Landing, until her marriage with Brian, has lived in Butler County her whole life. She grew up in a home without a father. With my mother and her partner, I essentially had a female influence. She grew up in though she's a distant cousin of the Roottrees. Her mother, Carolyn, a local artist who has appeared on the front page of Butler County Times in the past, has often come out opposed to the corporation's policies regarding deforestation of indigenous trees to expand their maple farms. And like my mother, I'm not a fighter. I want to bring love into the world, or love to the world. Now, what does that mean? This is something else that we were like, what is that? The good news is, right, we got most of it figured out. And then also, what would that have anything to do with anything else? Like, right? Hello? Carl to support Stephanie. And none of the daughters really wanted to support Stephanie for what reasoning? Maybe that Carolyn CM, the only person I'm assuming with M as the last name, we can't even have it. We actually got to go to our evidence because we don't really know. But I'm assuming, right, the only person. Jeez, let me in, let me look. CM. So yes, when we looked up CM, the only person that qualified was Carolyn Morton. So she wrote this letter to Carl. But what would that help? CM. Could it also be somebody else? Nah, I don't think so. I think all those names were the names that we needed. I feel even more confused now that I only have one singular hint. So the number can be where the clue leads you to. It may not be the clue itself. Huh. Thank you for that. Let me think. Let me stand up. I'm gonna stand up for a second. I'm stretching. You can't see me, but I'm stretching. Okay, so there's something about this campaign mailer, whether it's something on it, what it leads me to, what it says on here, or what it leads me to, or what articles may be on here. Let me make sure we search Stephanie Jones in every which way, and in the periodicals. We already know that she's in the Butler County Times. Okay, so this is the only thing that pops up for Stephanie Jones. We can search Stephanie Landon. Know her mother's partner's name is Eloise. Yes, you guys are dancing around me not finished the game. Did you beat the game, B? Did you beat it? Like the whole thing? So to me, if I'm reading this, right, the only thing that makes sense will be something around here. I kind of just, hold on, get rid of the whole page. I don't want the whole page. Delete the whole thing. And let's go make it right now. Oh, we gotta add a page first to highlight. Oh, no, god dang it. It was that Butler County Times, right? One sec. Okay. All right, so what I'm thinking about is this leads me to Carolyn. And now I guess I question why we talking about Carolyn. But like we were talking about, did Carolyn say her mother was a fighter? Or was she a fighter, you know? And then we couldn't find really anything on Clara Lansing. So it had to be Carolyn Morton, I would imagine. I'm gonna keep searching. We're gonna close. I wonder if this game will have DLC. Yeah, DLC to it. And then we search this P flag. We already know this is a flag affiliated with LGBTQ. Parents and friends of lesbians and gays. Okay. Maybe she started that or something. Okay. Yes, we got a lot of art. According to a quote further down, Elena's burden is supposed to symbolize society split by indecision over whether women should be equals or something to protect. The picture on the front page has been added to your evidence. Okay, so I believe we've searched Atlantis burden, but that doesn't stop me from wanting to keep on searching it, I guess. We need like an art magazine. Can y'all tell me this? Can y'all tell me if the game will tell me if I got all the stuff? Like if I got all the evidence? You stay up so long my first night on this game, I have to keep going. Man, I feel that. Is that all it leads you to? Totally understandable. Yeah, it's definitely addicting to solve. I could be on this all night for real. No, it's not all it leads me to. It also something else I wanted to look up on this page. The book. And this is dedicated to Eloise and Stephanie. Carolyn was one of the youngest in her generation, and she felt betrayed when her sister Gwendolyn and her cousin Bonnie settled down. She just likes her brother-in-law. Who she calls completely bogus. Dang, I was hoping for some type of... Oh, fuck, be for real. Their marriages led to her to double down on her passions. She comes out strongly against Roottrees Candy Company's effect on local environment and rules how she was not able to convince her father Zach to make changes to policy. She also explains that her marriage to Mark led to the most volatile moments in her life, all negative, and that the only good thing it gave her was a daughter. Mark Landon. They tell you when you get all evidence, yes, but check that one note or read the recap. Okay. So basically, the lady who gives me the stuff will tell me. Roottrees sisters and their parents died in a plane crash. Access to some resources. They returned with some note of other photos. We heard the radio conversations. They called me on the phone. They returned. They hired you to fill all this list just to figure out. So I truly don't know if we have all the evidence. I assume we did because we were this close. Like we're literally about to finish what I think is the game because you guys are talking about a second part or something. We're looking up Stephanie Jones. This is the only thing I have a hint to. Small Reaper Titilla. And then Stephanie Jones and any other thing. We don't need that. They don't have no government like type of things. If she is in the city council, whatever she's doing. You could look up Brian Jones, famous athlete who broke a pole vaulting record in 1954. Is he a regular in the Butler County Times? There are many advertisements over the years, as well as a small article about 1995 Jones Graphic and Print. The article is a piece about Brian Jones taking over his father's printing company after 20 years. Brian seems to not have to let it go to waste. I've been in and out of the shop my whole life. My father taught me everything there is to know when it comes to getting the job right and done quick. We've been a staple of Butler County for years. Even the Butler County Times uses us for coupon pages a few times a year. Thanks, by the way. But still, whether you're a new client or one of our regulars, nothing will change. Come on down to the best prices on bulk printing anywhere in the state of Pennsylvania, or search for us online. I designed the website myself. Okay, let's search Jones Graphic and Print, which we did search this already. Let's also search anything else about Brian Jones before we click off. Although Brian Jones is a local business owner, you don't find much related to him. Okay, that's cool. I mean, you could try. A girl can try, right? And I'm pretty sure there's nothing here, but you never know. And then did we? Oh, we already did search here. Okay, let's search here first. Okay. It's a company that, according to the website, has existed in Butler County Town for some time. Website seems fancy. It even has frames. Yes, we have frames. It's something that you deem unimportant that is super important, basically. Alright, you're cooking me in the chat? That's crazy. No, just... The website lists the addresses, hours, and few examples of client-type work and what was done for each. So he did the mailers for his partner. He did some banners and posters for the Roottrees Candy Company. He did a holiday light post banners, tour flyers for Miracle Network, coupon flyers for Roottrees Motors. Okay, can we search a lot of different stuff? What is this? Holiday light post banners. Okay, no, that's probably nothing. Miracle Network tour flyers. I'm assuming that is the tour flyers for their big tour. We got that coupon flyers. Is this? I don't think that's a coupon. Butler County School District, various banners and posters. Butler Summer Theater, posters and second contributions for the Children of Eden. We also do web design. So I think we were caught up on this one, the Children of Eden or Butler Summer Theater. Butler Summer Theater performs and plays musical during the summer. Makes sense. As it is not summer currently, their website has a thank you message. Thank you for making our 1998 season such a success. Stay tuned for announcements about performances in 1999. The website lists the credits of a musical, which seems to be the final show they performed last season. There's a cast list, but none of the names seem relevant. Below the cast, it lists the crew, and two things stand out. Posters and additional set design elements by Jones and Graphic Print. Choreography by November Studios. Dancer or choreographer. Yeah, dancer. That'll work. And then, what about this Children of Eden thing? Children of Eden is a musical with songs by Steven Schwartz. I wonder if we can find something on this. Or would the same thing just pop up? No, weird. A game designer by the name of Jeremy Johnson really likes it. I'm searching every name, honestly. Wow, look, I done found an Easter egg. It's nepotism all the way down, for real. No, for real. This game is clearly heavily inspired by Obra Dinn and Her Story. I have yet to play Her Story. I'm gonna have to play it. I hope it stands out on its own and it feels like more of a homage than a ripoff. Thank you, Lucas Pope and Sam Barlow. You both ran so I could walk. Aww. This also inspired by my participation in the world's largest trivia contest on 90 FM in Stevens Point, Wisconsin. Thank you to everyone who organizes the competition year after year. Shout out to Portesi Frozen Pizza, which I never tried but heard so much about. Okay, that's cool. Maybe they know whoever makes it or something. And lastly, it's inspired by a core memory I have of browsing Beanie Baby / Mortal Kombat fan site somewhere around 1995 on my local library's dial-up connection. Thanks to the patient librarians in Bethel, CT, who took the time to explain the internet and help change my life. If you're seeing this message, please come to the game's Discord and simply type "I found the thing" in all capital letters in "I found the thing" channel. Thanks. I might actually go do that. I found the thing, found a little Easter egg. That's so cool. Realized it could be kind of time like things with a game he was making and decided to use it instead of something fake. It's kind of an Easter egg. You don't need to check it out, but if you do, I like the song Hardest Part of Love and Lost in the Wilderness. Also, if you haven't already, you should hit the back button to go to Jones Graphic and print instead of searching for Children of Eden. You probably should search for whoever was performing it. Okay. Does that give us some photo? Hold on. We might be able to find it. No? Man, imagine. I was like, are they gonna give us some extra songs? You know what I mean? Let's search this Hardest Part of Love thing too. Man, imagine they got some game music. They already did make a thing, you know. Okay. Did we search Jones Graphics and Print and anywhere else? We just read this one. And then we could also search this in Butler County Times as well. Okay, this is something different, I believe. We read this one. Yep, stay tuned. Yep. Okay, Butler Summer Theater has been around for at least 30 years. They perform plays and musicals with a cast and crew in and around Butler County. There are hundreds of mentions of their performances, not in just reviews, but nearly identical advertisements for their box office tickets, as well as yearly announcements of upcoming shows and seasons. They also tend to take out a full page ad at the end of every season that says thank you and lists the names and shows they perform with no additional information. At this year, however, it mentions they have a website. It probably wouldn't be in there. I mean, I don't know. Nothing stopped me from clicking all of this other stuff, and then we read that. Maybe one of the kids were in it? Nah, okay. Let's just search it. I don't think we searched this. I think we just assumed the job via this. Local dance schools, They advertise lessons for ballet and jazz classes. There's hardly any other information available. So this is a newer business kind of thing. No mention studios. That's crazy. That's crazy work. Is Steven Schwartz still alive, or am I thinking Steven Sonny? I don't know either. Anybody named Steven Schwartz, to be honest. Nobody mentions it anywhere. We do know she's a dancer, though. What'd your occupation be, sis? What are you, Nicole? Are you a student? Are you a college student? Did you all pick up farming by chance? Imagine the whole household is farmers? No. Yeah. I feel like we did pretty good. I think I'm gonna go ahead and end it here. It's getting pretty late. It's almost 11. I gotta work in the morning. But I will be back Tuesday. Probably gonna do a 4 to 7 stream. I put the schedule up. Now don't hand me if I be late sometimes, you know. It'd be like that. Like today, like I got 2 times kind of like I like to try to do like an early stream or like a middle stream. This time I didn't do anything and I did a late stream, but I had a good time. Again, if you liked it, you know, always feel free to let me know. Always down for game suggestions, and all of my VODs are uploaded straight to YouTube as well. If you want to catch a sneak peek at any other games I played a lot of games like this. Story games, a lot of puzzle games, a lot of mix of different stuff. And yeah, I would say if I wasn't so tired, I would keep going until we have these 4. But I don't think just clicking, changing one occupation is gonna help me get it right. There's no way, right? There's no way at all that a random occupation could, help me out here. No, that's not realistic. So, so I hope you guys had an amazing day. I surely did. I had a good time figuring some stuff out, and although we did not get the chance to solve everybody, we got a chance to solve the person in the title of the photo, which is come on, W, you can't tell me that's not a W. It's kind of like W video title, kind of, sort of. But yeah, have a good day, guys, and I will see you Tuesday. Oh, look, I got the end of screen. Look, y'all got, I have been doing some stuff outside of work, but yeah, anything else? Yeah, I'll just see y'all Tuesday. Hopefully I'll go live around like 4 p.m. And yeah, I hope you guys have a good night, and peace out. If I can actually end the stream. Okay, look. No, my mic's still on. Bye, guys.